Hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome to my presentation about the bike sharing system project that I've been working on throughout the semester. I'd like to mention that I will include some details in my PowerPoint presentation, some details that are not in this video. So the link to my YouTube video is down below. So, from working on this project throughout the semester, I would say that a bike sharing system is actually an individual transport system that some scholars have defined as the last connector between public transportation and private transportation. It's the last mile. And it has become pretty popular across the world since around the 2000s, actually. And nearly every city around the world has been implementing a bike sharing system. Some of the reasons why the bike sharing system has become very popular is health reasons. Some is economic, and to also provide alternatives to the existing modes of transportation. And I would say that from working on this project is that some of the reasons or objectives that the bike sharing system hopes to achieve. Number one is to improve the interchange between different modes of transportation and to provide a sustainable way of transport. This is, I would put it in a way as the bike sharing system. Most of them, for example, they are placed in places where you can take the bike to the nearest bike station. So it becomes like a connector between the different modes of transport, or you can take the bike, go to the train system. So in that way, it becomes an interchange between different transportation systems. Number two is to implement a healthy living lifestyle and to promote a bicycle as a mode, a popular mode of transport. So, like in this project, um, the sponsor was a health advocacy group. So from, you can see from that is that it is for health reasons. So health has become a very healthy living has become a popular thing from around the year 2000s. People have become more aware of their lifestyle. And number three is cost. Public transportation in major cities around the world has become very expensive. And so a bike sharing system provides a cheaper alternative to those existing public transportation. Because in most cities, you either take Uber, you take a public bus, and you can carpool and stuff like that. And the other thing is to improve the general welfare of life, like to reduce noise pollution, to reduce air pollution, and also just to provide alternatives to the existing modes of transportation. And so, looking at this project from the start, you realize that there's a common trend of characteristics of a bike sharing system. Number one, it's an individual transport system. Number two, you look at the cost; it is relatively a low cost mode of transportation. And number three, you look at flexibility; it is pretty flexible mode of transportation. And number four, we're looking at affordability also. um, Bikes are pretty affordable. The systems that have been set up around the world, they're pretty affordable, and most of them, another characteristic is they're always pretty much a public enterprise idea or a public private partnership idea. And then another characteristic that would be the last one is time constraints. A lot of bikes do not have time constraints, like compare it with a bus, for example. A bus has a very rigid schedule. You either be there at 10 a.m., for example, when the bus leaves, but you look at a bike, you whenever you pay for it, you go to the next station. So time constraint is a key characteristics. And some of the popular transportation modes that a bike sharing system competes with, number one, we would say is public transport like buses. Then we look at carpooling, for example. These days, people come together, they hire one bus or something like that. And then private transportation like private cars and things like that. So the bike sharing system, for example, some of the cities that have been particularly successful with implementing a bike sharing system in the world. Some of them is Barcelona in Spain. They have a pretty working and efficient bike system. We have Lyon in France. We have Gothenburg in Sweden. DC, Washington, DC, Montreal, Canada, they have another one. And even closer home in Kansas City, we have the Bike Walk KC. They actually have two existing bike sharing system coming all the way from North Kansas City, for example, all the way to Longview, Longview Lake, I think. Yeah. So even closer home, we have bike systems that are working and um, are in place. So when I was looking at this project, some of the things, the applicability of this bike sharing system, I was looking at population density. There must be sufficient people, enough people, for example, living in a city to warrant you to come up with a bike sharing system. Another one is transportation challenge. For this case, for this project, was a health challenge because the health advocacy group. But normally, you'd look at things like transportation challenge, bike sharing systems. They look at providing solutions and alternative to tackle urban transportation challenges. And the other one, we look at the distance traveled. You have to take advantage. You have to be cognizant of the distance traveled. So in this project, I was looking at the distance traveled by the clients, and you have to look at the economic power. Are people, will they afford it? So in this project, they put a price. The price is pretty much affordable for a lot of people, and you also look at weather conditions. So those are the key things I was looking at in this project, building it through, bearing in mind the population, the distance, the purchasing power of the people, and also weather conditions. Because when it snows too much and in a place where there's, let's say, a lot of snow, it's pretty difficult to implement the bike sharing system. And so one of the things that I looked at in this project when I was working throughout the thing, I was looking at the motive, which I have said clearly was a health reason. And then we look at usage, accessibility, reliability, and the cost. So as you go even through my PowerPoint presentation, those are things you want to pay attention to and look at them. And so this bike system, we started it with it's there will be bikes on a dock with locks, and then the security features, we say, I said I was going to use Arduino locks. And Arduino is an open source software and that provides software and hardware with microcontrollers that provide security for items like bikes so that they are not stolen. And then the other software that is included in this project, which I said is the RFID, which is the radio frequency identification device that will be very helpful with the location, locating where the bikes are, the drop off, the pickups. And also throughout the semester, we learned the different languages. We did MySQL. So most of the data in this project are stored in MySQL. And then the payment systems, uh, we use Java or Python. Mostly in this project, I use Python to do the billing. The billing, you remember, I think it was week 6 or week 7, we did Python for the billing project. And number 3, we look at the software in terms of accessibility. Wi-Fi, there will be public Wi-Fi, or those people who want to use their cellular network to access the bikes. And then the intelligent locks will also be there in the docks, so that the bikes are pretty safe. And security also, it's very important to provide security also for not just the the bikes with the locks, but the area with the docks. We must have patrol. We can hire somebody who like patrols just to check to ensure the bikes are okay, or if some have been vandalized, pick them up, take them back to the station, and so on and so forth. So please guys, look at my PowerPoint presentation. There will be more information there. Thank you for watching these videos throughout the semester, and I wish you well also guys in your presentations. Thank you.